Hey, Sully, how are you this weekend?
What's happening, bud? You got your Diet Cokes in you? Ready to rock?
I'm ready to go. Busy time of the year. You know, we only got 2 weekends left on the high school sports season this weekend and next, and you got the ShopRite LPGA Classic also in town. So it is a busy stretch here that we're in right now.
Yeah, before we get started on some of the spring stuff, I wanted to talk real briefly about Kylie Watson, freshman over at Mainland Regional. She made the roster for the U16 team. How big of a deal is that? I mean, you're talking about, the best dozen high school players under the age of 16 in the nation. She's out in Colorado Springs right now.
Well, exactly. You just hit it right there. There's only 12 players making the United States U16 team. Just to get invited out to that trial, those tryouts were tremendous. She was one of 35 players who was invited by USA Basketball out there. She was obviously over 100 kids tried out for the team. She's one of 12 to make it. They'll be playing in Buenos Aires, Argentina, next week in the FIBA World Championships. Just a great opportunity for her, and just think about how much better she's going to be for this experience. And we're going to do some exciting stuff with her in our newspaper. I think we're going to be having Kylie sort of give us a diary, every other day, give us detail some of her experiences and run down what she's going to be facing over there in Argentina. So it's just really an exciting opportunity, to represent your country and to get better as a basketball player. It's just, it's just the start of what seems to be a lot of big things for Kylie Watson coming ahead.
It was funny. I texted her dad, Tim, who's football coach at Cedar Creek, and I said, "Hey, Tim, can I get Kylie on the radio station tomorrow?" He's like, good luck. I can't even get in touch with her right now.
Right, yeah. It's a lot of going on right now. I think they leave Monday for Buenos Aires. So busy time, and obviously training out there in Colorado Springs. But, obviously you're starting to see why, before she even played a high school game, why schools like Louisville, Ohio State, Rutgers, Maryland had offered her scholarships. Tremendous season last year as a freshman, leading Mainland to the South Jersey Group 3 final, and now just a tremendous, summer session where she gets to represent her country. And how many basketball players get to do that, and how many athletes from South Jersey or the Cape Atlantic League, get to do that, represent their country in international competition. So it's just exciting times for Kylie and her family.
Another female athlete kind of wowing everybody here in South Jersey is a girl from North Jersey, Sydney McLaughlin from Union Catholic. She's kind of going on a little bit of a tour here to end her high school career with the sectionals, the groups, and the Meet of Champions. And it's really neat to see these other athletes and the coaches all kind of, stare and wonder like, oh my God, that's the girl that was in the Olympics. And they're, you have kids. It was kind of funny. I was talking to her, I guess 2 weeks ago at the sectionals down in Egg Harbor Township, and she was like, it's a little bit weird having kids my own age ask me for my autograph.
Right. Well, and last night over at Egg Harbor Township, she breaks her own junior world record in the 400 hurdles. And winning a state championship over there. So it is, again, an unusual situation where you have another high school athlete who represented her country and still competing on the high school level over at Egg Harbor Township this weekend. And last night, she easily won those 400 hurdles, broke her own world junior 400 hurdles record. And obviously, like you hit on it, I would see on Twitter, athletes posing for pictures, whether her posing with Coach Ryan Smith, EHT, his family, his little kids, pose for a picture with her. There's a real-life Olympian over at Egg Harbor Township this weekend. So, you don't get those opportunities very often.
It was kind of funny because I made my way over to the track after the softball game, and she had already run her hurdles, so I didn't get a chance to watch her race. But I ran it to Coach Smith, and I said, how'd she do in the hurdles? He's like, dude, she beat everybody by about 40 meters.
Yeah, there's nobody, you saw the video last night of her winning. There's nobody else in the shot, but obviously an outstanding athlete from Union Catholic up there. And it's just really exciting times when you get to see, these are the memories that you're going to remember. You're going to remember watching Kylie Watson play in high school. You're going to remember watching Sydney McLaughlin run track in high school. When they go on to bigger and better things, and they've already started that, obviously, Sydney in the Olympics, and now Kylie, one of the 12 best players in America on the U16 team. So just tremendous opportunities for those two girls.
Now, Mike, raise your hand right now if you thought the 11-seeded Southern Rams could win the South Jersey Group 4 title.
Well, you know what? I didn't think they would win I got to be honest. I didn't think they would win the South Jersey Group 4 title. But they do have, what makes you successful in the postseason, and that is they're an experienced team. They have 12, 13 seniors on that team, so they're kind of built for this moment. And then they have the pitching. I mean, Pat Barrett, Nick Simone, they have very good pitching, and they seem to just come up with a way of getting timely hits. And, I'll go back. The baseball playoffs are kind of a crapshoot. It's a pitch here, it's a pitch there. I'll go back to that first playoff game where they played Vineland. I think it might have been the quarterfinals, not their first game, but that
was the first game.
Opening. Yeah, the opening game. Well, that game goes 8 innings, and Southern wins 3-2. So I mean, that's what we're talking about right in the baseball playoffs. So if they don't survive that game, they obviously don't get to the point where they can beat Lenape or beat Egg Harbor Township in the semifinals. But they're obviously on a great run now. Their first sectional championship in 50 years. It's been a season of firsts for that Southern team. They were like in the Ocean County final for the first time since 1987. They made the playoffs for the first time since anybody can remember. Their first sectional title in 50 years. And it's been a great season for Southern Regional sports because you contrast the Southern Regional baseball team, which has kind of had an unexpected success, with the familiar story of the Southern Regional boys volleyball team, who last night beat Pennsauken and won their 8th straight South Jersey title and are 37-1, and will continue with the pursuit of their 2nd straight state title. So it's really a great season for a great spring for Southern Regional sports, and a sort of a tale of two stories there: the unexpected success of the baseball team and the tradition of the volleyball program coming through again up there at Southern.
And Mike, when I looked at that South Jersey Group 4 bracket, I mean, I was thinking from the first round that the top 6 seeds were on upset alert. You don't really say that every year. Usually there's, the top 3 are kind of safe to make it through that first round, top 4 maybe. But this year, I mean, with the depth of all these teams, and I think all these teams really played tough schedules throughout the year, so it was kind of not overly surprising that a double-digit seed makes it into the finals, but man, what a bracket that was. I mean, you look at some of those teams, and it's just like, how does anybody even navigate through 4 games of this?
Well, you hit on it right there with the South Jersey Group 4 bracket. You look in baseball, Powers, Washington Township, Eastern, Lenape. How well was EHT playing going into the tournament? And then Southern gets through that. You look at the same thing on the softball side, where it was just loaded with talented teams. Washington Township, Rancocas, Eastern again. And that's what makes Egg Harbor Township's softball season, their 2nd straight South Jersey title, their undefeated record, even more remarkable. I mean, no disrespect to the teams in Group 1 or Group 2, but EHT softball team has twice run the gauntlet of South Jersey Group 4, which has some tremendous teams. Twice they've come out at South Jersey champs, and now and to go through another season undefeated in softball, where an error here, a drop pop fly here, an infield single here can make the difference between winning and losing in those games. It really just shows you just how tremendous the achievement is by that Egg Harbor Township softball team.
And the crazy thing to think about, Mike, is in those 46 games or whatever it is, they've probably trailed in about, at least a dozen to 15 of those games at some point.
I mean, they trailed, I believe, to Washington Township in the games are starting to blend together. I know they beat Rancocas in the final, but I think Washington Township was the semifinal. We all know about the games they won last year when they had to go extra innings to beat Eastern. Just to come up, and this thing doesn't usually happen in baseball or softball where you get that key hit every time you need it. I mean, the odds are just not in your favor. And Egg Harbor Township softball team, Tori Drum, Emily Biddle McNeil, Marissa Varela, they've always managed to come up with the big hit. And what's impressed me about the Egg Harbor Township softball team is it's not. Tori Schramm has had a great season in the South Jersey final against Rancocas. She got, she knocked in 4 runs and did a great job. But it was the 9th place hitter. I mean, I know you know her name. I know her first name's Alexa. Maybe you can help me out with her
Preziosi,
last name.
yeah.
Preziosi, the ninth place hitter, gets the big double that puts them up by 2 runs. So it's 1 through 9 in the order. And if you're going to go 46-1 over 2 seasons, you better get contributions from up and down the order, and that's exactly what Egg Harbor Township has done, and that's what they'll hopefully continue to do as they go for that. You know, the only thing they haven't done is win that state title, and they've got a chance to take care of that at 5 o'clock today up at Kane University.
And another really cool story, Mike, is the Cedar Creek softball team. They've had some great players in the past, you know, Cheyenne Meyer and some of these other girls. She's obviously at Marshall University, stud softball player. But they were never really able to put it together and get through that second round of the playoffs. And this year, just a neat story. No real stars on that team per se. You know, only 2 seniors, but they win their first South Jersey title, and what a moment for that school.
And you know, that kind of leads to the point of what a season for Cape Atlantic League softball in general. When you look at the playoff run, you have the success of EHT, but you've got Wildwood Catholic playing for a state title tomorrow. You mentioned Cedar Creek winning a South Jersey title. Buena Regional wins South Jersey Group 1 championship. So really just a banner season for the Cape Atlantic League softball teams this year. A lot to be proud of on the softball diamond this season. And
pretty unexpected, too, because we kind of thought those teams in the Olympic and Burlington County were a lot stronger than the Cape, and you look around and all of a sudden Cape's got, 4 out of the 6 champions.
Well, now you're hitting my pet peeve. I've been doing this a long time. And it just seems to be that always, teams look to the Olympic Conference, and those teams up there are tremendous. There's no doubt about it. Teams look to the Burlington County Conference. Teams are up there are tremendous. But a lot of times teams from the Cape Atlantic League tend to get overlooked or not taken as seriously as those teams, especially in the spring sports of baseball and softball. But, the Cape Atlantic League softball team's going out there and making a name for themselves and kind of showing that, hey, that kind of thinking is a little bit, and I think it's been pervasive throughout South Jersey for a long time. But, there's some pretty good softball being played along the shore in Atlantic and Cape May and Cumberland counties.
Good stuff, as always, Mike. We're up against the break. Got to let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Where are you at today?
I'll be at the ShopRite Golf Tournament today, covering that, but we'll have people out at the softball and the track and the softball tomorrow, and then we'll be back on the high school beat next week, Tuesday, with, St. Augustine Eustis, Southern Regional Baseball, just another great track and field, meet of champions next Saturday. Going to be a busy week coming up ahead.
The spring season never ends, my friend.
No, it does, especially when it rains. Just gets postponed to another day.
All right, Mike, have a great weekend, buddy.
See you later.
That's Mike McGarry, press of Atlantic City. Always enjoy his take on high school sports.